Hey everyone, Brian Stevenson here, and today I just wanted to do an update on how the week has been. It's been a busy one. I have been dealing with a variety of issues, and one of the things I actually wanted to talk about is property taxes. Not really a big issue, but just something that always is something we need to be careful when it comes to coordinating this year, or this time of year, sorry, because property taxes have been paid by some individuals and not paid by others because the payment date isn't due until July 2nd. So when we're dealing with transactions that are closing end of June, we want to make sure there's not an overpayment and a credit sitting in the account that then the buyers have to account for when they're looking to purchase the property. Want to make sure that homeowner grants are being claimed properly, all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of top of the radar right now. With respect to property taxes, actually, something useful for you guys when you're dealing with your clients is the city of Kelowna, and I'm pretty sure this is the same for city of West Kelowna and the other districts in the area, that there is an extension that's been given to property tax late payment charges. So effectively, for the city of Kelowna at least, if you make a late payment of your property taxes, if you pay after July 2nd, there would normally be a 10% charge as a late penalty. That has been extended out, so there is no late penalty up till, I believe it's September 10th or the beginning of September. So something to consider when you're working with your clients. Obviously, we want to encourage people to pay their property taxes. The municipality does need those funds in order to fund their programs. However, if you have a client who's in a tight spot and from a budgeting perspective could use that extra time to not have to make those payments, that is a tool that's available to them. So, of course, something to share with them. Other updates. Oh, the reason I'm wearing glasses is because I am getting laser eye surgery tomorrow, actually. So I am 95% excited and 5% very nervous, but I think everything will go well. Hopefully I'm not wearing these next week. If I am, it means something's gone wrong. Or maybe actually I have gotten a lot of compliments on them, so maybe I'll switch out the lenses for non-prescription and then just wear them kind of hipster style. But so that's happening tomorrow, so I'll be MIA for a little bit, but the recovery time's pretty quick. I just don't want to be looking at screens too shortly after the procedure. What else to chat about? There has been an interesting, a few times actually in relative past, but most prominently one instance in particular, looking at issues when it comes to legal access to properties. So typically, if you're dealing with a subdivision in a developed area of town, there's going to be no concerns with having legal access to your property. It's likely connected to a dedicated roadway and should be fine. However, when you're dealing with properties that are along the lake, for example, in different areas, a bit further out of town maybe, or you're dealing with properties that are in maybe more mountainous terrain or just less developed areas, access and easements are very important. The case that I was dealing with recently was just looking at an easement that had a pretty long extension through a variety of lots, but didn't actually end up connecting to the lot of interest, and there was an assumption that it did. So when you're looking at plans, it's always interesting because you have to go back in time. There's a historical kind of process you go through, and there's typically a larger parcel of land that had a easement that ran through the entire thing, and then there's subsequent subdivisions of that property, which resulted in lots that were also subject to that easement. But you never want to assume that where people have been using for common travel, it was actually a dedicated easement area. So something to think about when you're looking at those types of properties. Also consider title insurance may be something that's useful in those cases. One of the qualities of title insurance and one of the risks covered is lack of legal access to a property. So if it was an unknown issue, you may consider speaking with your clients about ensuring that they either obtain or that if they did obtain title insurance at the time of purchase, that they look back at the policy, contact the title insurer, and the insurers are typically pretty good at trying to work with the clients to make sure that the property is marketable. So something just to think about today, guys. A few things there, a few updates. Things have been busy. Obviously, inventory is low on the market, so we have a lot of people looking to buy, but not as much choice, and definitely a seller's market there. So we'll hope things pick up for July and August as people get a bit more comfortable with people being in their homes, but then also being willing to list as long as they can find somewhere to buy. That's always a catch-22. Hope everyone has a great rest of their week, and we'll talk soon. Thanks.